Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Rumana with your histology practical on cornea and retina. As you all know that the layers of the eyeball are divided into three parts. The first layer is the fibrous coat, then comes the vascular coat, and in the end is the neural coat. So we will be discussing cornea, which is actually forming the anterior 1/6 of the fibrous coat. It is actually colorless, transparent, opaque, and it is transparent just like a glass. Because of the transparency, it is of prime importance that no blood vessels are present in the cornea. This is the viva question which is usually asked, that the cornea has no blood supply. However, the tissues receive oxygen, water and nutrients by diffusion from the tear film covering the anterior surface of the cornea, and the nutrients and oxygen, they also reach the deeper corneal layers by diffusion from the aqueous humor which is present in the anterior chamber of the eyeball. Histologically, cornea consists of the following five layers. Number one is the corneal epithelium, then comes the Bowman's membrane, then comes the corneal stroma, Descemet's membrane, and corneal endothelium. Now coming over to the corneal epithelium, it is actually the outermost layer of the cornea, and it is made up of stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. And as you all know that the stratified squamous non-keratinized layers of these epithelium are that the basal layer consists of low columnar cells, then comes the polygonal cell, and on top are the squamous cell. Now, like other stratified squamous epithelia, the corneal epithelium also undergoes constant renewal throughout the life. The cells in the basal layer of the epithelium, they continuously proliferate, while the more superficial, they constantly desquamate from the surface of the cornea. Now the Bowman's membrane, it is also called as the anterior limiting membrane. It is acellular and it is actually located between the corneal epithelium and the corneal stroma. It serves as a basement membrane for the corneal epithelium. That it is forming the basement membrane of the columnar cells of the stratified squamous layer of the corneal epithelium. Now, when you see it under the microscope, it appears a little bit thick, but under the electron microscope, it consists of network of fine type 1 collagen fibers which are embedded in the ground substance. It is not only providing strength, but it also acts as a barrier to the spread of infection. However, one of its property of this membrane is that it does not regenerate, and therefore any damage to it leads to the formation of an opaque scar, and which will obviously impair the vision. Now, the corneal stroma, which is also called as substantia propria, it is the thickest layer, and it consists of constitute about 90% of the corneal thickness. It consists of about 60 lamella composed of type 1 collagen fibers, and the collagen fibers are embedded in the ground substance of the proteoglycans like lumican, keratin sulfate, and chondroitin sulfate. Now, in between these lamellas, you will see flattened fibroblasts with slender processes lying between them. And these fibroblasts are called as given the special name of keratocytes. Now, coming over to the Descemet's membrane, it is also called as the posterior limiting membrane. It is homogeneous, highly refractile, and a thin acellular layer, which appears homogeneous. Actually, it is also the modified basement membrane for the corneal endothelium. And the Descemet membranes vary in its thickness in newborn. However, it slowly thickens with age and may attain a thickness of about 17 micrometer in case of old people. Now coming over to the corneal endothelium, it is the layer of the simple squamous epithelium that lines the posterior surface of the cornea, and these cells contain under the electron microscope mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, rough endoplasmic reticulum, and numerous pinocytic vesicles. Now the main function of the corneal endothelium is that it is actually transporting the excess of water from the corneal stroma into the aqueous humor. Now this is the microscopic picture of the cornea. As you can see, the number one layer is the stratified squamous corneal epithelium. Then number two is the basement membrane, which is actually the anterior limiting membrane or the Bowman's membrane, on which are resting the low columnar epithelial cells. Then you can see the substantia propria or the corneal stroma. Now it has got collagen fibers. As I told you, they are the type 1 collagen fibers which are embedded in the ground substance. And in between them you are seeing flattened nuclei, fibroblasts. These fibroblasts are called as the keratocytes. Now coming over downwards, you will see the thickened basement membrane, which is also called as the posterior limiting membrane, and this Descemet membrane is actually the basement membrane of the squamous cells, which will be forming the corneal endothelium. And the last layer is the corneal endothelium cells, which are the actually the squamous cells, and they are forming the corneal endothelium. Now, now as you can see, number one, the squamous cell, polygonal cell, and the basal are the low columnar cells, and the thickened basement membrane, which is the Bowman's membrane or the anterior limiting membrane. Then you can see the collagen fibers, and in between them the flattened nuclei of the fibroblasts, which are called as the keratocytes. Then comes the Descemet's membrane, which is actually the posterior limiting membrane, and it is thick, and it is actually the basement membrane of the corneal endothelium, which are the squamous cells. So in this diagram, parallel to it, the diagram is showing the pencil diagram of the cornea. Now coming over to the retina. Retina is actually the innermost layer of the eyeball, and it is neural in nature, and it is divided into 10 layers. Number one is the retinal pigment epithelium layer, then the layer of the rods and cones, then comes the outer limiting membrane or the external limiting membrane, then comes the outer nuclear layer, then the outer plexiform layer, then the inner nuclear layer, and then the inner plexiform layer. That is the inner nuclear layer, inner plexiform layer, then the ganglion layer, optic nerve fiber layer, and the inner limiting membrane. Now coming over to the first layer, which is the retinal pigment epithelium layer, it is actually a single layer of low columnar epithelium with basal nuclei, and the cytoplasm of the retinal pigment epithelium is actually filled with large number of brownish black melanin pigment granules. In addition to this, under the electron microscope, they consist of large number of they also contain large number of mitochondria and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and they are also present in it. Then coming over to the second layer, which is the layer of the rods and cones, and in this layer we see this is actually the layer of the rods and cones. Then comes the number three is the outer limiting membrane or the external limiting membrane. It is actually the rows of adhering and tight junction between the molar cells to each other and with the inner segments of the rods and cones. So this is actually the external limiting membrane, and then comes the next layer. Then comes the outer plexiform layer. This layer is also called as the outer synaptic layer. Actually, this is the layer in which the processes of the rods and cones, they are making synapses with the processes of the bipolar cell, horizontal cell and interplexiform cells which are present in the deeper layers. Now comes the inner nuclear layer. Now this layer contains the cell bodies and the nuclei of the bipolar neurons, horizontal cells, amacrine cells, and interplexiform and molar cells, their nuclei. Now coming over to the inner plexiform layer, this layer is also called as the inner synaptic layer. You have studied the outer synaptic layer, now this is the inner synaptic layer. In this region, the axons of the bipolar neurons, they make synaptic connections with the dendrites of the ganglion cell. In addition, the processes of the amacrine cell and interplexiform neurons, they are also running, and they are also making synapses with the processes of the bipolar cells and the ganglion cells. Now coming over to the ganglion cell layer, this layer contains the cell bodies of the ganglion cell, which are large multipolar neurons. Then comes the optic nerve fiber layer. Now, please make it clear that it is made up of unmyelinated axons of the ganglionic cells. They are running parallel to the retinal surface and they converge to the posterior pole of the eyeball where forming the optic disc, and then they pierce the sclera to form the optic nerve. This layer is also called as also has got neuroglial cells, and which are especially the fibrous astrocytes. So the name of the neuroglial cell in this layer are the fibrous astrocytes. Now coming over to the last layer, which is the inner limiting layer. This layer is also called as the internal limiting membrane, and it is actually made up of the basement membrane of the molar cells. You should know the name of the cells which are present in each layer and their synapses. So in the diagram, I will then again repeat all these points. Now in this diagram, this is how you are going to see it under the microscope. On the topmost layer, the things that you are seeing are actually the choroid layer along with the blood vessels which are present in it. Now you will start your diagram from where number 3, that is the point where number 3 is written, that is the pigment cells of the retina. It is actually for the retinal pigment epithelium. You will have to draw the columnar cells, their basal nuclei, and on the apical region you will fill it with your black pencil with the small melanin dots showing the pigment cells which are present in this layer. So this is the retinal pigment epithelium. Then as you come down, you can see the layer of the rods and cones, and the outer limiting membrane or the external limiting membrane you can see, which are actually showing the it is actually not a true membrane, but it is showing the row of adhering and tight junction between the outer ends of the molar cells to each other and with the segments of the rods and cones. Then coming, you can see the outer nuclear layer, in which you can very well see the rounded blue nuclei cell bodies which are showing the rods and cones. You will have to differentiate that the cones, they have got a cone shape on the top appearance, and the rods, they are elongated in form. Then coming over to the outer plexiform layer, this layer is also called as outer synaptic layer, which is the region which is in which the processes of the rods and cones are actually making synapses with the processes of the bipolar neurons processes. You can very well see it. Then comes the inner nuclear layer, in which the nuclei of the bipolar neurons are present, and in which blood vessels are also present that you have to draw in between them. Then is the inner plexiform layer, which is the inner synaptic layer, and in this region the axons of the bipolar neurons are making synapses with the dendrites of the ganglion cell, which are present in the deeper layer, and also along with the amacrine cells and the interplexiform neurons. Then you can see large ganglion with multinuclei, which are actually the multipolar neurons, and they are actually the cell bodies of the ganglion cell. This is the ganglionic cell layer. Then you can see the optic nerve fiber layer, which is in which you can see the unmyelinated axons of the ganglion cells, and these axons are, what is the direction? They are running parallel to the retinal surface. And the innermost, you can very well see the basement membrane, and this basement membrane is actually of the Muller cells. So this completes your practical on cornea and retina. You will have to draw these diagrams and complete your assignments, and thank you for listening.